Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Catherine Ferreira. I'm founder of Geminme, and I want to thank everybody for joining today. This is a very special event as we will be creating vision boards, which is one of my favorites, and talking about setting goals and creating and manifesting everything that you want to do. So I am the founder, like I mentioned, of Geminme. I'm also a Latina author, a public health advocate. For those who don't know me, I am Dominican, born and raised in Washington Heights, raised in a single mother household. I completed my bachelor's in health service administration with magna cum laude honors at CUNY School of Lehman College. I completed my master's in public health in community health education at CUNY School of Public Health and Health Policy in the midst of the pandemic, which is very difficult. I am a co-author as well of two amazing books, Today's Inspired Latina, Young Latina Volume 2, and Hispanics Are Rising, The New Face of Power. I am also currently a community engagement supervisor for New York City Health and Hospitals. I have 7 years of experience in the health field, including customer service, community outreach, and program management. I tell you all this not to impress you, but to press upon you and tell you part of my story and the moral and really the objective of Geminme is to inspire and empower others, right? So sorry about that. And so everything that I'm telling you now is to tell you that it is possible, right? So as we get to know each other and you continue to follow me and I continue to tell you about my story and what Geminme stands for, you will understand that, everything that I just mentioned, it wasn't as easy as, just telling you, yes, I completed, awesome, amazing. But it does take work, it does take dedication, it takes a lot of discipline and everything that life throws at you, and being able to accomplish that. So you do have to celebrate it. So Geminme was found in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. I brought this idea to manifest it really and create it, and I executed and registered it as a company. And it is to build a community of love, healing, discovery. And I am here to inspire and empower others, right? So that's what Geminme is about, is creating this atmosphere for people to learn, communicate, network, right? And the mission is to help transform your life and discover the gem in you, right? So that's why it's called Geminme. And like I said, is creating that community and creating those long-lasting relationships that really help you, network. Oh, this, and try to network and create that platform that we all need, because all we need is support, love, connection. And there's a lot of negativity out there. So we want to have that atmosphere for us. I do offer coaching services and career development. So we facilitate connections and events like these. So please continue to follow us and attend these events. So I am challenging you today to take notes and take control and action of your life. So I know you will learn a lot of things today that we'll be mentioning. They might be foreign to you or new, but I'm sure you're going to be taking notes. So I will start off with a quote. And it is, "You get in life what you have the courage to work for." Right? So sometimes we're like, oh yeah, I want this, right? But you have to work for it, manifest it, align everything to actually get what you want. Now I'm going to share my screen. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. For those who are just getting on now. As we saw from the event, we are envisioning today and manifesting everything that we want in life, right? So today I'm going to touch upon a couple topics that might be foreign to you, but you probably heard, but really is like implementing, right? And trying to like change the way that we see things, the way that we want things, the way that we ask for things, and not having that limited mindset really. Okay, so we have to improve our attitude to elevate our altitude, right? So if you have a very poor mindset, you're like, oh no, I'm just okay with this, and whatever happens, happens, I'm just gonna be here and do nothing, basically, right? If you have that mindset, you're not gonna go nowhere, really. So you have to kind of elevate that and change your attitude to be positive. So here, okay. So here's the agenda for the event today, right? So we are, like I just mentioned, I did my introductions, I welcomed everyone, and I gave a little background of what Geminme stands for. So now I just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. All the supplies we need, right? So we are going to create vision boards, and I just want to make sure you guys have the devices, the whiteboards, the magazines, tape, glue, markers, stickers, PowerPoint if you want to do on a PowerPoint slide, or if you want to use the Canva app, which is something that I use every day, really. Canva app is free, which is amazing. They're very creative. They have like tons of templates and stuff, but in this case, you will use a, plain page, and you can choose like a phone wallpaper that's going to be like that template. Make sure that it is that size exactly, so it could fit directly on your phone. Like if you want to put it on your screen on your phone. I had mine, actually do have mine, but with the apps you could see it. I'm not sure if you guys see it, but in the background you see my vision board with all the pictures of everything that I want, and I'm constantly seeing it throughout the day because I'm always on my phone, right? And we are going to use creativity, so be creative. Imagine the things that you want and desire, right? So desiring that car, that trip, that relationship, whatever you guys are in the mood of, right? For your short-term goals or your long-term goals. So what is a vision board, right? So a vision board is a board, right? A template or collage of your goals in your career, business, personal development, right? If you want to learn something, you want to travel to a destination, you want a house, you want to have perfect health, creativity or relationship, right? So it's literally like endless of the things that you could put on this board. So you have to have imagination and visualize your dreams and goals. So things to ask yourself are like, what do you like to be, right? What would your ideal life look like, or your world, right? So anything that inspires you, motivates you, you can also throw on in there so it could kind of keep you going, because this is something you're going to constantly be looking at. And I do recommend for people who are doing it on the app or PowerPoint to have it on your lock screen. I'm doing a diet, so that's kind of, I get to see like what I have to do. But, if you put it on there, you're going to be able to see it constantly. So that's something that is very, is recommended. So the purpose, right? So we are doing this vision board today. And what is the purpose of it, right? So it creates inspiration, like I mentioned, right? So seeing it every day, it motivates you to work towards your goals and what you want to accomplish, right? Is also affirmations, right? So if you want to put a little quote there, like you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're rich, whatever you want to be, just put it on there, because you're going to keep on seeing it and it's going to be in your mind all the time, and you're going to attract it as well. Visualizing it, right? Communication. So the vision board really identifies your vision and your desires and dreams and wishes, like I mentioned before. So you see, reminds you of the bigger picture of life, right? So sometimes you get stuck in like, oh, I'm not having a really good day, this at the job or whatever it is. But the bigger picture, like those little things, yes, they matter. They bug you, right? They bother you, but at the end of the day, is not something that's going to affect your long term. Like 10 years from now, that argument or that little miscommunication that you had with your coworker or your boss is really not going to serve you, right? The bigger picture, look at the bigger picture, and that's going to keep you going. So it serves as motivation also, and manifestation tool. So like I said, like you have to manifest it and call it into your life to be able to accomplish it. To doing a little exercise, right? So before we say and write and post and do all this amazingness of a vision board, I want you to take a moment. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm going to time it on my phone. Give you 2 minutes to write down things that you're grateful for, right? You're going to write this down and think about it. And then, right, in your private space, wherever you are, you're going to say it out loud and in your head, or in your head, whatever's easier or convenient to you. I want you guys to kind of think about and reflect about the things that you already have and that you should be grateful for. So I think the first step to being blessed or elevated is being grateful, right? So if you're not grateful for what you have, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be content with what you have, right? So this is something that I wanted to be the rule of the night, right? So we're creating this to manifest and to create and attract better things. But these things are not the ones that are going to make you happy. You have to be happy in the space that you are right now, with what you have right now. Because at the end of the day, if you could keep on chasing things, once you get that car, I'm going to be happy. No, you're going to get the car, you're going to be like, oh, that's it. No, you have to be happy with what you have now. And then once you have the car, you're going to be happy, of course, the adrenaline of having the car, you're going to be able to drive to X, Y, and Z, whatever. But, just be mindful of those things, because sometimes we put our happiness on other people or other things. So now I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes so you guys could write the things that you're grateful for. Awesome. Are you guys ready? I'm sorry, it went over like 30 seconds. I apologize. I got a little distracted with my list. I was actually writing my list as well. So I want you guys to now reflect. If you guys want to share, open to share things that you are grateful for. And I could also share mine. Who wants to start?
I'll go. Okay, so I just wrote some things that came to the top of my head, which is I'm grateful for my family because they're always around, always available, always present. And I'm just grateful to have a family like the one I do have. I'm grateful to have a home, a roof over my head, just being able to.
So as we all shared, we are so lucky to have the things that we have. And this event really shows that, right? Because we just mentioned all the things that we are so lucky to have. But we, of course, we're human. We want more stuff, right? Because life continues. We're in one level and we want to kind of level up, as we would say, right? And create more memories, create more wealth, create more health, and all those things that we want. So I'm not sure if you guys saw these quotes on the side. Be thankful for what we have, or you have, and you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will end up never having enough. And that is true, because like I mentioned before, if you guys, oh yeah, once I have that car, I'll be happy. But really, when you get the car, you'll probably be happy for a week, but then it will kind of die off, really. Be like, oh, we're back to square one. What am I getting next, right? So you have to be happy in the moment with what you have, and just being thankful for the things and being grateful, right? Writing those things, that's kind of reminding you of being grateful and attracting better things and being happy with what you have. Because if we don't be grateful, then you're not going to be happy. And a funny thing about life, once you begin to take notes of the things you're grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack, right? So don't focus on what you lack, because you'll never have enough. Alrighty, so now we're going to talk about mindset. Mindset is crucial. I think that mindset is really like the key to like having anything that you want. Really, like I said, if you feel complacent or you're like, oh yeah, I'm fine here, I don't need that car, I don't need that house, I'm okay with this job, if you don't really push yourself, right? So what type of person are you? Are you a person who sees the cup that is half full or half empty, right? You could keep on filling your cup, right? Pouring more water, right? Being optimistic around. Sometimes we have toxic relationships or people around us that don't serve us, but just keeping that mojo of like being positive and continue to work towards your goals, and kind of blocking those negativity around you. Being committed, right? So you want to be committed to those things that you want to do. So commitment is what transforms a promise into a reality, right? So that's what kind of pushes you. So if you want to do something, you have to commit to it to be able to make it happen. If not, it's not going to happen. And being courageous, right? So I feel like everything that I do, or like, have been doing lately, like for example, here, this event, right? So I'm here talking to you. I created this presentation and this event to like present to you certain things that I've been studying and that I believe in, to help you kind of create that momentum and that mindset, right? Here we are talking about mindset. But, you know, as I do this, it's now like second nature to me. This is something new to me because I've never done it before. I'm creating Geminme, right? So this is part of Geminme and I haven't done it before. So I am going to be fearful, but I still do it. I still push, I still study, I still prepare myself to be here, present, and to make this happen, right? So that's a mindset, right? So if I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be on a screen, I don't want to do that, it's not gonna happen. I have to be like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. You know, 100 people are gonna be there, whatever it is, right? Whatever my mindset is, and being optimistic about it. So mindset is about attitude, behavior, action, and then that leads to success, right? So your attitude is, like I mentioned, something, what type of attitude do you have towards life? Or those people, the people around you, what happens to you, right? And like this little kitty here, as you can see, is so pretty. He's tiny and cute, but his mindset is as a lion, right? Or a tiger, a white tiger. So if you see that, like, you might be tiny, like, or other people might see you tiny, but it's the way that you perceive yourself or the way that you see yourself, right? So it doesn't matter what people think about you. At the end of the day, it's about what you think about yourself and what you accomplish. So people can't like determine or say what you are or you're able to do, right? They don't know you, they don't know your potential. So if you don't become what you want, you become if you don't become what you want, you become what you believe. So yes, at the end of the day, you have to believe it, right? So, oh yeah, I want to be a professional, I want to be successful. You have to believe it and have a mindset towards it. So something that I've actually learned recently is that success is 5% strategy and 95% mindset. So, you know, I have this plan. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a millionaire. This is going to happen. Okay. But, you know, sometimes we're, oh, how am I going to get there? You have to change your mindset to be able to get there. Because if I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get there? Like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. It's not going to happen. That's it. You're already lost. But if you change your mindset, then your strategy comes with it, right? 5% strategy, right? So it's going to happen. But your mindset has to be right. So get your mindset proper. Everything and then everything would start happening for you. Alrighty. So now, how do we envision, right? So changing your mindset, it's literally the first step. Once you have that mindset, then you can envision what you want. Because if your mindset is very poor or mediocre, as you would say, right? Your mindset is like, oh no, it's fine. Then you're envisioning, or whatever you envision is not very productive or big, right? So picture yourself with those goals, right? So those objectives, the feelings, the destination you want to be in. And this is kind of like starting that fuel of the things that you're going to add in your vision board, right? So if you want to start making a note, or like, you know, if you have another device, you know, apart from the one that you're looking at me right now, you can look for, you know, images as we speak, because we will have time to do that later on. But if you want to start or making a list of things that you want to before you forget. So envision your goals as they're happening in the present moment. So I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am free, I am happy, right? So in the present moment, try to manifest it and say it like that. You will attract it and believe it in yourself. And that's type of the mindset, right? So the mindset that you could do it, the mindset that you have it, right? The mindset that is possible, and that you kind of elevate from there. So expecting nothing less than what you deserve and desire, right? So if your mindset and your envisioning is like, I'm gonna get this, it's gonna happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen, right? You're envisioning yourself having that, nothing less. Don't expect nothing less. Because if you kind of lower your standards, oh, I'm okay with, I don't know, whatever mediocre, I don't know what you guys want, but whatever mediocre that you're like, it's okay with, less, then that's what you will get. Okay, so expect nothing less. And I also believe in the law of attraction. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it. It's very popular. It's called The Secret. It's actually a book, a film, and it's on Netflix and everything. I have been studying this over the years, and it is true. Like, I went to this event the other day. Chanti was with me, and there was a raffle for like a jewelry a raffle for a girl that she was selling jewelry, and she's like, oh, the raffle. I'm like, thank you. I'm coming back to get my ticket. Like, this is mine. Like, I'm winning. And she's like, okay, fine, perfect. And then, they were doing the raffles and everything. Like, what name they took out? My name. Because I manifested and I believed it. As soon as she gave me the ticket, I'm like, this is mine. And it happened. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I was so excited, But those are the little things, right? That you kind of see, oh my God, this really happens. Like, I manifested and I won. But those are like little things that happen. But if you like manifest other things, I'm sure it's gonna happen. So try it, after this lesson or after today, try to manifest something and see if it happens, and let me know how it goes. But what do you really want? Like, right? So you want to envision what you really want and start thinking about big. Start thinking big. Don't think like, oh, I just want this, I just want, I don't know, parking. I just want a car or whatever, right? So it could be a car if you don't have one. Like, that's big for you at the moment, right? But I'm just saying, like, level up your standards. Don't think small, because anything is possible, right? So you get in life what you have the courage to ask for, right? And what you have the courage to work for too. So Michael Jordan, here in the far right, in the bottom right, sorry. You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. So if you expect yourself to do amazing things, right? What's gonna happen? Amazing things are gonna happen. You're gonna have more opportunities, you're gonna network. But if you're like, oh no, like, everything's gonna be bad, like I'm gonna be in traffic, I'm gonna be late to work, I'm gonna be late to school, this is not gonna be good, then those other things are gonna happen because you're like envisioning it to happen. And I'm pretty sure that's what you're gonna attract. Okay, so just be mindful of the things that you think. I do this all the time with myself, because sometimes, we're human, right? We think about, oh my God, the worst case scenario, right? But sometimes we kind of have to like, no worst case scenario. It's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be perfect, right? So expect great things of yourself before you can do them. So your imagination is everything, right? It is the preview of your life's coming attractions. So you're gonna attract what you imagine and what you kind of put out there. So be very mindful of what you think. Now the time has come. Everybody has, Canvas, PowerPoint, whiteboard, scissors, stickers. I just want to make sure everybody has everything they need before, we start the party. Okay. So like I mentioned before, to kind of give you a recap, really, the vision board is going to be pictures, words, whatever, your goals, your wishes and dreams are. You're going to put all that in that board, and you're going to put it, could be in your room if it's a big whiteboard, or on your phone, on your desktop screen, wherever you want to post it, your locker, whatever. And then just make sure that you're able to see it every day. Okay, and so now I'm going to put a short video while we do like search for the items on Google. Search for the items on Google. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about and you don't understand what I'm saying, search items on Google's, right? The picture, save it to your phone or your computer. Then we're going to post those pictures onto Canva if you have the app, or PowerPoint, or the whiteboard. So there's many ways to make this happen, okay? I'm going to briefly go over these 3 Fs: feed, of course, feed, filter, and focus, okay? I'm going over them because that's kind of gonna help you be very picky and selective about the things you're gonna put on this board, okay? All right, so as you can see here, the final board, after we've done it, we're going to say I am, okay? So I am happy, I am in Thailand, I am fit, and the different pictures that you have, you're gonna say it. And the bonus is that you say out loud, record yourself on your phone, right, on voice notes for iPhone. I don't know what it is for Android, but you're gonna record yourself and hear it once in a blue, right? Like every day if you can. You're gonna keep on manifesting and hearing those amazing things that you want and already have, right? To manifest it and happen. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go on focus. So I want you to understand that these things that you're gonna put on the vision board, they're very dear to your heart and you want to accomplish them, right? So you have to be mindful of what you focus your energy in. Because once you create this board, now you have to make sure you accomplish these things. So what you invest your energy, your time, your emotions, and space is very important. If it's not serving you of what you want to accomplish, then you shouldn't be investing your time, energy, emotions, or space in it. Because it's not going to serve you. You're just wasting your time. Okay, so something that if you guys know me, or for those who don't, an agenda for me is like a must. So this is actually a perfect segue into the new year. I already have my agenda right here. I write everything on this agenda, everything, like doctor's appointments, deadlines, everything everything that you could think of. I even write relax on it. Some of my friends laugh at me about it. But I put relax on it because I have to remind myself that I have to relax. And it's funny, but it's true. Okay, guys, so buy an agenda. If you guys have any questions of any good agendas, I can help you out. But buy an agenda and focus on the things that you want. So it could be personal, professional, social. Just an agenda helps me balance and keep everything, my ducks in a row, as people would say. Okay, so focus. Now we have to filter, right? So we have to learn to say no, which is very hard. I'm still learning to say no to things and people who don't serve your purpose, your goals, and your values in life. So saying no, like I mentioned, is very hard, but it's necessary sometimes, because sometimes we focus our energy, time, space, and emotions on things that don't serve us. And we just waste time, we get disappointed, lose time, get disappointed, lose energy, feel frustrated. And the other person's like, oh, no, they don't really care. All right, so get rid of those negative.
I feel like people need to stop expecting things from others so they don't get disappointed.
Yes.
So like you can have standards, but like don't expect it, because it's like you're not dumb and they're not gonna always please you in like achieving whatever you want them to achieve to like benefit you. Like just do it for yourself, kind of.
Yeah, that's actually a great point that you rose there, like do it for yourself. That's actually been my mojo, like for all my life really, is to do things for myself. Like when I got those grades, it was for myself. When I applied to that job, it was for myself. Like some people, when you're growing up, you need that motivation, or, oh, let me do it for my mom, or let me do it for my dad, or let me do it for, I don't know. But sometimes people need that. And like at the end of the day, you only have yourself. Like Chanti said, people could disappoint you. You expect people to like encourage you. You expect people to be there for you, but they're not. So who do you have? Yourself. And at the end of the day, that's how it is. We try, and obviously we're not an island. We need other people. We need interaction, love, and all these things. But it sounds selfish, really. But, you have to take care of yourself. So getting rid of that negative energy, the gossip, right? Distractions. Some relationships are based on that. Some negative energy or bad habits or bad, situations, gossip, distractions, anything that is holding you back or disabling you to get where you want to be, you have to cut that out. And that's going to keep on like flourishing everything that you do, because you get rid of that bad branch. And then it's like, oh, we found another friend that is like serving you well, or like encouraging you, or like creating with you, or whatever it is. Okay, so think about what's important to you, what fills your cup, what makes you happy, not what the other person wants for you, but what you want to do. Okay. And lastly, feed. So you have to feed yourself, right? So filling your cup, really. So we want to feed your life with positive energy, positive people, positive content, right? So in order to be motivated and like have better relationships or have better feelings, feeling more happy, you have to like do things that encourage that, right? Keep you stimulated. If you do bad things that are like, oh, like depressing, be on the TV all day, I don't think that's gonna feed you any positive, right? If you watch the news, don't watch the news. I don't watch the news because it's always negative. But so be mindful of the people you surround yourself with, right? Like I mentioned before, if you surround yourself with positive people that are always talking about great things, positive energy, projects, like that's gonna rub off on you. And you can also reciprocate and create something for them, right? Some people do rituals and habits in the morning. Some people do meditation. Some people do journaling. Some people just sit in the shower, just hot water, a candle, and jazz. By the way, that is something that I do once in a while. It's very relaxing. You should try it. And
Wait, what you said? Listen to jazz, right?
Yeah, jazz. So jazz, turn
It's
off
really
the light
relaxing.
and a candle. So everything is dark. You have a candle on, you have jazz playing, and you're in the shower just standing there, just showering, thinking about life. And also the content you consume. So sometimes you're like on social media and there's just like negativity and like, I don't know, different things that don't serve you. Sometimes obviously we can't control what's on social media, but if you think like, oh, this is not really good serving me, like try to the next screen or the next story or whatever it is. Just try to surround yourself with positive things. And when I talk about content, I'm not talking about social media really. I'm talking about like YouTube, like YouTube University, some people refer it to. I also look at like motivational videos. I look at motivational videos, or if like I'm feeling a little down, I'll put like happy music, right? Or happiness or focus if I want to focus. There's tons of things online that you can look into. There's also books, if you have time and love to read, there's tons of books that could serve you. There's TV shows, podcasts, right? There's a bunch, like podcast is the new thing now. So just consume things that will serve you and make you a better person.
Food.
Yes, content that you consume. Good food, right? Feed yourself with good food. Thank you.
And your environment in like your house.
Yes. And so that also requires a positive perception of yourself, right? So you have to have a positive perception of yourself to be able to let those good things come in. If you're like a negative person, you have a negative perception, you could watch, Oprah all day. It's not gonna work. Okay. So better use of your time to improve your effectiveness and your productivity. So I know we suffer with this a lot. So that's part of my encouragement to have an agenda, better use of your time. Like if you need to like be like, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 8 a.m., right? 8 a.m. And 8 a.m. I'm gonna do meditation, then I'm gonna, I don't know, shower or work out. Like if you wanna write it by hour, do it. But just make sure that you're doing your thing. Sometimes we're like, oh, I'll do it later. It's not gonna happen. And then you're gonna have a laundry list of things you didn't do, and then you're gonna feel bad about it because it's already 8 o'clock and you're gonna be able to do it and you have to go to work tomorrow. And then tomorrow you have 10 other things, so plus the 8 that you didn't do yesterday. And then you're gonna feel overwhelmed and it's not gonna work. Okay, so make sure you're planning your stuff. I have my checklist. I'll give you this technique. So when I have like a laundry list of things to do, I go to my calendar and I write them, by the hour if they're specific to hour. If not, just all day, and then I'll do them. But those are the things I have to do before I go to bed. Okay, so I look at that list throughout the day. Okay, I did that, and then I move it to like AM, so it's like out of my, white list, if you will. And so that's a way that I kind of check things out. Or use your agenda, right? So now everything is kind of digital, but your agenda is also a helpful tool. Okay, and stimulate your creativity. So be creative with the things that you want to do, any project, work, school, whatever you're in. So now it's time. I hope everybody is already looking on Google for those images that are going to serve and make your vision board amazing. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick just to add the video. How's everybody doing? Any questions, any comments, any screams, yells, whatever you guys want to say?
So you use your physical agenda in conjunction with your virtual one, your electronic one? Okay.
Yeah, I do. So I use like 3 calendars. Okay.
Because I live and die by my work calendar. And
exactly.
So,
that's why.
Which is my electronic one, but I would love to hear a little bit more about how you use the physical one, because I also love the idea of the physical calendar, especially more for my own personal stuff, because I feel like if I write it down, somehow that manual process of writing is creating a commitment with myself.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. You know why? Because throughout school, I was going literally to class. So I would have like my backpack, my books, and my agenda was part of the kit, really. Mm-hmm. And I would always write like my assignments there. So I started using an agenda like years ago. Like I keep on my agendas. I have like 10 agendas in my garage. and they're full of like writing, and like the months are like endless. And I have 2 agendas. So, when you transition, I bought an agenda. This agenda, give me a second. So this agenda is the one that I used last year. If you can see, it has like tons. I don't know if you guys could see it. Okay, no, it's not working. Let me see if I can show you. Just give me a second. I have to remove. No, you can't see. That's amazing. Okay. So if you could see, I have like tons of things on this agenda, right? So I write like things that like work related, right? Mm-hmm. Work related, personal related, like if I have an appointment or I have, something going on, or like I have to go do laundry or go to the city or do this errand, because everything, life, right? There's always a bunch of things going on. But there's something that I don't want to forget. So I always write like my notes on the actual calendar, right? So you write your notes, and it depending on the actual agenda that you have, right? So sometimes there's side notes, and then in the actual day, then put the details. But I use it for everything, really. I like to scratch things off, highlight, cross out when I do them. It's like gratifying for me. Something that I like to do is like, yes, I did that, and like highlight is important. And mine has stickers, so I love stickers. So that's something that could work for you. I'm not sure if you're into stickers.
I don't love stickers.
But that's something that you could look into, like when you're purchasing an agenda. I can actually recommend some, or the one that I have, of an agenda that helps, right? That makes things happen. And it has quotes too, so it kind of
I'll take you up on
that. Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you more offline of it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but
perfect.
Definitely an agenda is important. Okay. Any other questions, Creams? Jennifer, hi. Jennifer's very quiet. How are you?
All right, guys. I was eating dinner, so I like shut off my camera and everything. So I didn't want you guys like having to watch me eat dinner. But I'm good. I'm good.
That's awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Are you guys all set with like your pictures? Because I'm gonna put a video while you guys are like doing, the picture selection and putting it on Canva or PowerPoint or your whiteboards. So I just want to make sure everybody's good to go before I start the video. Okay.
I'm good. So far, so good.
Okay, cool. Hi, Shelby.
Just say hi. Hi.
Uh-huh.
There's always two pains in life. There's the pain of discipline or there's the pain of regret.
It's not what happens that determines the quality or the quantity of your life. It's not what happens. And the reason is because what happens to about everybody. No different. The sun went down on all of us last night. A common event, a happening. And I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor. Why is that? It's because it's not what happens, but rather it's what you do that changes everything.
What's an area of your life right now that you really want to improve? What's an area that's important to improve? Your body's great. How about your career? Career's great. How about your relationships? Intimate one especially, or your kids, or your relationship with your creator, spiritual side of your life, or is it your finances? Figure an area that really matters. Decide on that area. I say to people, you got to participate in your own rescue. You've got to retool yourself. Lasting change is different than a goal. You don't always get your goals, but you always get your standards. Everybody in life gets their musts. They don't get their shoulds. Most people have a list of shoulds, don't they? Don't you have a list of the shoulds, things you should do, you should follow through on? I should lose some weight, I should work out more, I should make more calls, I should respond more rapidly to my email, whatever, I should get into the office earlier, I should be, more confident, whatever your should list is. People love to have their should list be met, but it's kind of like New Year's resolutions. If it does, it's really exciting, but if it doesn't, which is most of the time, it's a little disappointing, but you kind of know it's not going to happen. But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you say, I'm going to find the way, or I'm going to make the way. Human beings, when they resolve things, when they make a real resolution inside themselves, which is they raise the standard, they make it a must, they find the way. Everything in life is always changing. We don't have to work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out like people do who make a resolution. My mom was a powerful woman, so she kicked my fourth father out, whose name I carry, and he adopted me. And when he went out, she decided it wasn't his side, so she kicked me out too by chasing me out with a knife. And I wasn't worried she was going to stab me or anything, but I decided this is freedom. I've got to find a way to make my life work. But I had no money. I had a 1960 Volkswagen I worked $40 a week as a janitor to buy and pay for. And so I had no car, I had no money, I had no anything. I went and slept in a person's laundry room. And then I decided I've got to figure out what to do. And I needed to feed my mind because I was so depressed, I was so overwhelmed. I'm missing my brother and sister and feeling just completely out of sorts. So I got on a bus and I traveled 14 miles, I remember, because I ended up running it one time. And I went to this bookstore and I bought this book called The Magic of Believing by Claude M. Bristol. It's the first real book other than maybe Think and Grow Rich or Emerson's essays. And I started on this journey of saying, every single day, I'm going to feed my mind. I'm not going to hope good thoughts show up. I'm going to read biographies. I'm going to find out what makes people tick. I'm going to understand what makes me tick. And I wanted to read a book a day, but I didn't do that. I took a speed reading class and I read 700 books over 7 years. And they were all personal development, human development, psychology, physiology. And then what I try to do is take anything that I learned and apply it. And then when I applied it, I was 5'1" in my sophomore year in high school. I'm 6'7" now. I tell people the difference is personal growth. But sincerely, I became Mr. Solution because I wanted to help everybody. So I was this little fat guy and I couldn't lose weight and I lost weight. All my buddies are like, how'd you do that? And I said, well, here's what I did. They lost weight and we all got girls. And that led to, as a young kid, that led to where, if you had a problem, I was Mr. Solution, especially if you're a girl, I was more motivated to help you. So the breakthrough was really understanding the power of compressing decades into days. If someone has spent decades of their life and they compress it into a book and you can read it in an hour or a few days, you have such an advantage because when you learn by your own experience, it's painful and it's slow. When you learn by other people's experience, everybody knows in the financial world, other people's money is leverage, right? Well, other people's experience is more powerful than other people's money because you can have the money and lose it. But if you get the experience, you can change it all. So I think that was the beginning for me. And it set me on a lifelong path of hunger. I've never lost my hunger. You get on an airplane, what's the first thing they say? If we get into trouble, mask will come down, oxygen's there, and the first thing you got to do is put it on your kid, right? No, why? Who do they tell you to put it on? Yourself, you selfish bastard. What's the deal here, right? But it's because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't care of them. So for leaders, what I always tell them is, it's you first. It starts with you, and it starts with your psychology. 80% of growing a business, if you look at what the chokehold is on a business, it's always the leader. And 80% of that chokehold is the psychology, and 20% is the mechanics. People in this room know the mechanics and strategies beyond what anybody on earth knows in their category. So it's really about you being in the state where you execute. It's like I always tell people, knowledge is not power. It's total BS. Knowledge is potential power. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. And so my life is, how do you get yourself to execute? And execution comes from learning to put yourself in that right state every day. What do these people need to get started? Why aren't they starting? We all know the answer is fear. But the difference with you guys or me or anybody who's followed through is we're more afraid of what life would be like if we don't follow through than the person who's willing to settle for what they got and kind of hope it'll change and maybe purchase something for the moment and then not follow through on it. It's almost like people, overachievers, have a little more fear. They're a little more afraid of missing out. They're afraid of not being there, or they got a strong enough reason to follow through. So I'd say, if you're looking at home, now you go, where do I start? I'm sick of this. That's a damn good place. Once you break through, then it just becomes a game. The people that are getting your products have not yet broken through in most cases. The breakthrough happens by conditioning your mind every day, by feeding it a role model or story. It's putting yourself in a peak state when you follow through by getting physically strong. It's creating a little ritual of doing a little bit each day, and then you get momentum. But the most important thing of all is what we start out with. Why? Why is it a must for you? It doesn't have to be you're against the wall, but it has to be something you're hungry for, because the only difference in people is hunger. And if you're not hungry, get around people that are hungry and something will hit you. So people can change their standard by getting around where it's better. People can change their standard by getting associated with what's true, like the bills they got to solve, the problems they got to do it. Or they can do it because they're excited, because it's something new they want to take on. Everyone's different, but they got to find the why, and they got to come up with some daily rituals to get them going and just do a step at a time. That's where you get momentum. People that succeed, when an opportunity is there, they trust. They trust. If I'm going to thrive, this is here in my life for a purpose. Life isn't happening to me. Life is happening for me. Even this pain or challenge or this opportunity is something I'm going to find a way to make use of. I need to make a decision, and I need to do something right now to move things forward in the direction of what I really want for my life. Even if I don't know the final destination, I need to move in that direction. I need to take some form of action. Most people have all these visions. Maybe they start to make a little sort of decision, but they don't make a real decision because they don't act on it. And if you don't act on it, your ideas, your dreams will die in your mind. They'll die on your lips. And think about it. Most people in North America, around the world, the Western world, are they truly fit, strong, and healthy? Do they truly have a relationship that's totally passionate? Do they love their work? Are they economically free? The vast majority, you and I both know the answer is no. If you want to be like most people, then what you got to do is figure out how to survive. If you want to lead, you got to thrive. And you have that capability, and you're probably already doing it. I'm probably speaking to the choir to some extent. If you're still watching this right now, you turn me off as a raging maniac who's on a rant, because that's what I am. I'm on a rant right now. A rant to call to your soul to say, no matter how great life is, take it to the next level. Find a way to thrive on the very things that stop other people in their tracks. Thrive on what produces fear inside you and in other people. Thrive on something that you envision that you have a higher purpose for. Thrive by being decisive. Thrive by taking massive action. And if the massive action doesn't work, if what you try doesn't work, just simply try something else. And if that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else until you find what works. Now you can speed that up by modeling, by finding somebody who's already getting the results that you want to get in your life. Somebody who already has lost 30 pounds and kept it off. They aren't lucky, it's been 5 years. Somebody who started with nothing and now they're financially free and their family has an extraordinary quality of life. Why not figure out what they do? Somebody who truly is happy, not because everything's going their way, because they find a deeper meaning and a richness in everything around themselves, whether it be their children or nature or even problems. Because obviously, if we have no problems, we feel dead inside. Problems can either destroy you or call you to become more. If you look at the biggest challenges in your life, if you brought certainty to it, if you've got a vision beyond the problem, if you made some decision of what you're going to change, even if you didn't know how, and if you took immediate action with enough intensity, massive action, you probably found the cure-all. You probably found a way to adapt and get where you want to be. That's what thriving is really all about. But the ultimate thriving is not just breaking through and making things happen. The ultimate thriving for this year or any year of your life is to remember the secret to living is giving. It's to, as corny as that sounds, it's to connect to something bigger than yourself. And it can be done so easily. It can be done right there at home. Instead of running past your kids, looking at your phone, it's stopping, connecting. It's kissing your spouse in a way where those sparks happen, like when you first met, instead of how you doing and moving on. Most of us are moving so fast, trying to manage our lives, that we're not thriving. Thriving comes with depth. You're not going to find thriving in a friendship that happens in milliseconds online. Nothing wrong with it. It's great connection. But a depth of a real friendship is not your Facebook friend. It's not the same as being with somebody and actually having your full attention, not while you're monitoring what's going on your cell phone. Just the experience of being with somebody. But contributing your caring, contributing your interest, contributing in a simple way, finding some way to give love, attention, care, joy, or happiness to any human being. It doesn't have to be working in a soup kitchen, but that can be pretty wonderful too. Volunteering an hour in a month, an hour in a week can change a person's life. But it can be outside world, it can also be really on the inside world. If you want to thrive, then you got to remember life's not about me, it's about we. You already know it. It's in your soul.
Okay, so before we proceed, how's everybody doing? You need more time?
I think I'm good so far for now. It's hard to think about things like
a little
on
bit
the
more,
spot.
but yeah, but doing good.
Yeah.
You need more time, Yvette?
Yeah, just a few more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard to think of everything like on the spot, like when you're like having and you're like thinking of like even the littlest things or like the big thing, and you're just like, you don't know what you really need right now.
Yeah. It's I was talking to a friend actually, and she was telling me that it's hard to create a vision board sometimes because you felt like you already accomplished everything you wanted. And I was like, yes, but there's more. And there was a point in my life, like about couple months ago, I was like, okay, what else? Like, what else do I need? Like you get to that hard stop. You're like, okay, I already have everything. But you keep on looking and visualizing and kind of changing that mindset. And that kind of like, oh, maybe this, and then you're like, okay, I want that then, and like expanding your horizons, right? Sometimes we're like stuck in this environment and we don't really see other than ourselves or what we do and our work, right? So if you expand the like network, like you learn about something, you're like, oh, this is actually nice. I want to do this, or I want to learn more about this, or I want to go here, so it's kind of expanding and exploring other things. If you feel like you started, but there's more to it, like you could continue and come back to it, of course, that's you could still do that. But just think about that, like try to expand to yourself and like learn more, and like don't limit yourself. Like I started the event with, sometimes we limit ourselves like, oh, that's it, I'm fine, I have everything I need. But there's more to life, guys. Yes, awesome. So I'm going to give you guys 5 more minutes. Is that okay for everybody, or you need less, more, less?
5 is perfect.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'll give you 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to put another video so you guys could be, stimulated. And then we'll continue.
Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is trumped every day by execution. And if you really want to change your life, you can't let the learning you have here lead to knowledge or become an idiot. You got to let your learning lead to action. And then you can become wealthy financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and everything else. At this point in my life, nothing surprises me because every culture is different in the world, all the countries I work in, but we all have the same human needs. And And so I hope I don't make any faux pas. I've been coming here for 25 years, so I think I probably won't make too many of them while I'm here. But I hope you know they won't be out of disrespect. But I really give a damn more than culture. I care more about the individual. It's because I've been obsessed with a question for most of my life. And the question really is, what makes the difference in people's lives? Why do some people perform so poorly consistently, even though they have every advantage? And why are there some people that perform at the highest level have every disadvantage? And why are there some people that achieve everything they dreamed of and they're miserable? How many know somebody that has every reason to be grateful for their life and they're not? They're frustrated, they're pissed off, they're worried. How many know somebody like this? Say I. It's chronic. It's chronic in the world. And to me, that's failure. If you succeed and you're not fulfilled, that's failure. Because when you're not fulfilled, you've got nothing to really give anybody else. The problem is when you are learning in the way we've traditionally learned, it was preparing you for a different world than one way. You were supposed to sit passively. When you report to your position, the bell rings, and then what do? Talk to your neighbor, initiate, make shit happen? No, what are you supposed to do? Sit down and what, guys? What are you supposed to do? Shut up. Don't talk to you. Today, if you're in business, you don't talk to your neighbor, you're out of business. Who's with me here? Say I. If you wait for someone to tell you what to do in business, it's over. Your competition is taking you. So we live in a different world. And here's the problem. You're still learning the way you were taught to learn. So right now, you're all being very nice to me. I have no complaint. You're being very sweet, but you're sitting in a passive state. And let me explain why that's difficult. Who's ever done this? How many of you have ever gone to an environment where you learned something? Could be a university environment, could have been a business environment, could have been a seminar, and you learned something you truly thought was extremely useful. It wasn't somebody selling you. You're like, this is good stuff. This will change my business. This will change my life. And you were excited about it. And then you went home and you never actually applied a freaking thing that you learned. Who's ever done this before? Raise your hand and shout I. Who's done this more than once? Say I. Who still feels intelligent? Say I. You're confused. Now, I've done the same thing in the past, and I have to figure out what's the problem here. How could I be this devoted, dedicated guy, commit my money, my time, my energy, go to these events, work my tail off, take lots of notes, and then not apply it? And it's because I was learning in a passive state. Because when you're sitting like you're sitting right now, there's nothing wrong with it, but you will not, how much will you remember? If I asked you, where were you on 9/11, and you're not even Americans, how many can remember the moment when you heard about those planes crashing in the building? You could see where you were. You can remember. Raise your hand if you can remember every detail. Wow. Tell me where you were on 8/11. You know why? Information without emotion is rarely maintained. If there's enough emotion, if on 8/11 you met a special person in a special place and had a special experience, you might remember that because there's a different level of emotion. So one of the things we want to do is when you're learning in the traditional sense, there's not enough emotion in your nervous system. There's not even enough emotion. There's not enough energy. If there's one thing we have to be successful, I'm wasting my time and I'd be wasting yours if all we do is continue to talk this way. The reason is it might be interesting as we go through some of the strategies, you'll probably be excited, write them down. But in this level of energy, here's what happens. Whatever state you're in when you're learning, it gets linked to what you're learning. So if you're sitting here and you're really comfortable and you're kind of enjoying this and going, wow, this is pretty good, or wow, that's really interesting, or that could be really valuable, or damn, he has big teeth, or whatever you're thinking right now in your head. If you're doing that in a passive state, then later on, when you go to do something, you go, yeah, I'm really gonna do this. This is really gonna happen. And there's just no energy for it. So the less energy you have, the less likely you follow through and use something. How many follow here? Say I. And so, but some of you might say, yeah, but Tony, I've been here 2 days and it's great to be here with you, but I'm a little tired. It's late in the day, that type of thing. What you got to understand is this as a business owner, as a professional, as somebody who's going to be the best in the world at what you do or believes that you.
Hello again. Are we done? Somewhat? Okay. So, okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Started and then it got hard.
What was that?
They said I got started and then it got a little hard.
It got a little hard?
A little bit.
Yeah,
you know why? Because I was trying to find images and then I completely lost sight of the fact that I can put words on there, quotes.
Yeah, you could put quotes, words, whatever you want, like images of, like, I'll show you mine. Let me show you mine so you guys could. So we're going to share, if you guys want. This is mine. Give me a second. This is my vision board. Okay, so there's a bunch of things on here. There is freedom, there's patience, there's family, abundance, traveling, community, transformation, peace, progress, right? So I put images that are like words, but they're like visual, right? So like if you see here, the pink one with the mountains, you'll look at like, what the hell is that, right? Like, what is that? But if you look very closely, there's like a line like going up, right? So for me, that's progress. Like, you know, always having progress in my life. That's always been something that I need to keep going. So it could be anything really. I want to be active, so that's why I have the girl working out here. And peace, right? So positivity here, love, freedom, family, like better relationships, abundance, and my agenda that never stops really, right? So that's my agenda, my vision board. So if you guys want now, we can, I don't know if you guys want to share. Anybody willing to share? Show us your vision.
I'm a little shy to share, but now that I've seen yours, I got two images so far. Because the more I thought about it, the more I realized I'm like, wait, I want to be very intentional about what's on here because I have limited space. But I love how yours is put together. Every single nook and cranny is taken up by something. I love the idea of the double imagery, where one image can represent more than one thing. That's very smart. And I love that your firm is at the center of it all.
Yes, because this
What is
actually
that?
surrounding and feeding everything in my life. So thank you for the observation. Wow, Yvette's very observant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what is impact time? I don't know if it's impact by value or impact times value. That was cool.
Times value. So there's a mentor of mine. Some of you guys might know her. I mean, she was part of my Geminme launch last year, and her name is Jacqueline. She is a powerhouse. She has like 3 companies, author, pilot, you know, she's amazing. And something that she, you know, ingrained into me was that you always want to give or have an impact in people and give value. So that's why that's in my vision board, because I feel like that's something that I want to live by, is to be able to, you know, make an impact and have a value in what I do. So that's where that comes from.
Love it.
And then the wealth is time wealth, financial wealth, physical wealth, and social wealth. So wealth all around.
Very nice.
Don't be intimidated by mine. It took a lot of time to do. And
Not at all. It's inspiring is really what it is. So I love that.
Thank you. I know you guys have
like how I can put mine together, things I can think about, or ways I can organize it as I'm thinking about it. Seeing your visual was very helpful.
I did, you know, spend time on this. It's not like, you know, and you guys didn't have that much time to put it together. So, you know, that's why I was like, you guys are good with time, because I know it takes time to like think about it, then like organize it, cut it, put it here, put it there, organize it, kind of rearrange it. And it took time to do this. So like, I mean, you guys got the concept and got the ball rolling, right? So at a later time, you guys could invest more time and energy and to be able to look for pictures and like make it pretty. For those who are using Canva, just make sure that actually I'm gonna show you that so you guys could see. So when you guys are selecting, I mean, once you already started, doesn't matter. You guys can still do it. You guys have to change the layout. so it could fit in your screen. So like your iPhone, your screen, it has to like be a phone wallpaper. So here, resize. Obviously desktop, phone, different. But let me see if I can. There is an option in the app, depending where you're doing. I'm not sure if you guys are doing it in your desktop or your phones. There is a way that you can change. There's like a little, and you guys can see me.
It's a little hard to see because of the background.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm on the website.
Okay, cool. So for the people who are on the website, there is a little screen on the top if you're on your phone here. That is like little squares. It's like big, small, big, small, big, small. If you guys select that and select phone wallpaper, it's called, right? So I'm going to resize this image that I'm showing you right now as a phone wallpaper, right? So I'm going to copy and resize. It's going to show me what a phone wallpaper looks like, right? So if you already rearranging your pictures or you're starting or whatever it is, just make sure that it's this layout. So when you're putting all your pictures and all your amazingness here, when you actually like make it a picture or a background on your phone, it doesn't cut off images, right? You want it to be like perfect, like all the pictures are on the screen. So this layout helps you to do that, because if not, then some of the pictures are going to be missing, or, you know, it's not going to be all in one. So that's the Canva tutorial. All right.
I appreciate it.
So anybody wants to share before like we kind of finalized everything?
I didn't really know, because I mean, when you said the app, I don't know why I didn't think of like it being a website. Like maybe I wasn't listening, but I am gonna move it to Canva since it's like organized better. But I put it in like a regular Google slide as a starter, and I don't know if it'll be able to show. Let me see if I can turn my camera. So
I can see.
I put, okay, so this is a picture of models because I want to get into modeling, and I can find a better picture, but I chose this to represent like being an entrepreneur and like teaching myself and being able to like grow by myself and not have like working for myself in general. And then peace. I also want to continue dancing. I mean, that'll probably be my whole life. And I put the beach because that also like goes with peace. I feel like the beach is my happy place. And some of the things that I wrote down were don't accept the bare minimum, don't limit yourself, take time, don't rush and thrive, and have high standards and be clear with what I want. And it's not done, but
that's a good start. That's a really good start. I like the pictures that you selected. Just, you know, try to like fit in as many as you can. If you have like more ideas, like, oh, they don't fit, just try to put them smaller, you know, the big ones to try to fit. Yep. That's something that I did. Try to fit like another one in between, you know, just try to strategize your space. And yeah, you can do Canva on the computer, on the website, and on your phone.
The app now. Now that I know about it.
What was that?
You do it on the app now that I know about it. Something that I like very much.
Yeah, and the good thing you can change, like if you want it to be a phone wallpaper, you can save it as phone wallpaper, and then if you want it to be a desktop, that you can put it on your desktop, you know, so you could like format it to like save it in different sizes to try to fit your, you know, devices.
Beautiful.
So awesome. So thank you for sharing, Chanti. Anybody else wants to share before we start?
I can share, but as I was looking online, I love this that says take the lead when very much about leadership. And then it says lift others as you climb, enjoy the journey and thrive. And because the speech we just heard talked about thriving, it just encompassed other things that I appreciate. So to your point about having images that have multiple meanings, I think that's perfect. but I live a lot by that phrase. As I've learned, as I've been given opportunities and others paved the way for me, I try to pave the way for those behind me and those that are alongside me and try to take them with me on my journey. So this is the beginning.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That was
Thank
very
you.
meaningful, because I think that's part of the purpose of life sometimes, like finding your purpose and like, okay, yeah, we're like in a hamster wheel, right? But like when
Yeah,
you find your purpose and in life to like help others or like what you would like to do and what gives you happiness, I think
absolutely.
that's a blessing.
Yes, absolutely. Surround yourself with good people. I actually did have someone that is close to the top that shared that it gets very lonely up there if you don't bring anybody with you. It means nothing if there's nothing, no one to celebrate it with.
Yeah, that's deep,
Hmm.
very deep. You
Hmm.
guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, any micro moment, as my mentor would say, that you felt like, you had an epiphany or something that popped or jumped at you?
I think I'm just gonna say just making a vision board because I've never made one in my life. So I guess just putting everything together and seeing like what are my goals for this coming year makes me realize like I have work to do. Like I have to really put the work into it, focus on it, like seeing it the way like this, and I'm gonna put it as my lock screen so I can see it every day, like you said, and just stay motivated to do what I plan to do. So I feel like this was very helpful to me because it just makes me realize like you want something, you have to work for it, like you said, of course, never be lazy or anything like that. But seeing everything laid out really makes you realize like what exactly it is that you want and how much of it is it that you need. And you get to know how to put your focus in what is more important to you at the time. So thank you for everything.
Thank you for sharing. That's actually a great observation. To kind of wrap up everything. It's like focusing on things that you want. Because we get distracted, right? Life happens. We're like spread thin every day with work, school, family, relationships, the cat, the dog, everything, So it's like it's overwhelming sometimes to try to like keep track of everything that you actually want. So I hope that the vision board is able to like remind you, okay, everything is happening, but this is what you need or want, right? So that's kind of a reminder, keep you on track.
I also want to say, I think like when I finish my vision board, I would make sure like, because I also like get very distracted easily, I guess, I would want to line everything up in order. So like if I know this is like a minor goal, even if it's minor or major, like goals that I know the time period for. So like if this is like graduating, that might not be my first like picture or quote because I still have a whole semester left and there's things that I can accomplish before I graduate. So like putting stuff in order, I think will help me. That's just like advice for anybody.
Yeah, that's a good tip, Chanti, to be able to classify it, with priorities or importance or parts of your life, right? So professional one side, family one another side, personal another side, and you could be creative, right? And make it the way that works for you. Any other observations, comments, questions?
I think as I'm making my board, I thought that I only had like one or two things that I wanted to achieve for this year, but I'm realizing that I actually have like so many more and how to like put them on the board, and then kind of like Chauncey was saying, like prioritizing them but I think instead of doing them in order, I might do mine by size. So like making the things that I really want to focus on, like the larger ones, and then smaller goals, like actually physically a little smaller. Just because I'm a really visual person, but I like the idea of kind of giving a little priority to whatever ones we want to focus on, especially the first. But yeah, I'm realizing I have a lot more that needs to go on here, and I'm trying to figure out how to like squeeze them together.
Make them smaller, bigger.
Yeah.
That's a great tip, also like a strategy to like make it small. If it's a smaller goal, if it's a bigger goal, make it bigger. I like that. Alrighty. Anybody else? No? Okay. Alrighty. Let's continue. All right. So I'm going to close out with a prayer because I feel like I'm not into religion a lot. Like I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person and I'm trying to be better at it. I do believe in the higher power and in God or whatever you believe in. But I'm just going to kind of bless our vision boards and bless your life and your goals to be manifested and brought up. So if you guys want to close your eyes or whatever however you pray, make it happen. Okay. So today I want to bless everybody who's here. Thank you for being here today. I really hope that your goals and dreams are manifested and created in your future. And they are the most important thing in your life in the years to come. I want you to be able to streamline and be able to achieve them, that nothing comes in your way, and that you're always blessed forever. Amen. Yay!
Amen. Thank you. This was amazing. I'm actually really happy that you put this together and that it ended up being a small, intimate group.
I
This
know.
made it
Thank
feel
you
really,
for
really special, so I
joining.
loved it.
Thank you for joining. It's really special to me. Like I mentioned, like my goals have really been something that kind of kept me out of trouble, kept me sane. Sometimes, like people say, oh, like school's not for everybody. School was for me like a very long time, like something that I needed in my life to keep me sane, to keep me going and, alive, really like motivated, right? So that kind of was the stimulus and the structure that I needed in my life. Like, so that was school. So, setting goals and like meeting goals, and then, okay, I'm out of school now. So what do I do, right? So you kind of need that other project or other thing to kind of look forward to and plan. So that was Geminme. And so I'm really happy that you guys were able to enjoy it and be here today. So like I mentioned before, the following steps, this is the first step of everything, right? Creating your board. So you have to keep your board handy, have it everywhere that you can, your wall, your phone, your desktop, wherever you want to put it. Purchase your agendas for 2022. Because I already have mine. I already started writing it up and everything. And like I said before, being grateful, right? So if you want to wake up every morning and start writing 10 things that you're grateful for, I know many people who do this, very successful people who do this. And so it's a habit that if you get into it, I'm pretty sure it's gonna suit you well. So write 10 things that you're grateful for every morning. And that's kind of a ritual of like being grateful and attracting amazing things to your life. And doing like the things that you write on your board or post on your board, record yourself saying, I am, a CEO, right? I am an entrepreneur. I graduated high school, right? So record yourself saying these things, and then you play in repetition, whenever you want to hear yourself that you have everything that you want, right? It's going to be very short, but just like hear it a couple of times. And that's also going to get you in the mindset of the things that you want, right? And attracting those things and getting motivated to do them and aligning your actions to get there, right? Attracting the people to get there and doing the steps to get there. So be positive and be abundant. As you guys know, Geminme is about helping and kind of pushing people to get what they want and connecting people. So feel free to connect with whoever's here. I can, connect you guys. And I also want you guys to follow up with me, tell me how your vision board journey is going and if you have, met your goals. So that's kind of where I'm gonna share my appointment link here. So you guys, or guys could text me like a day and we could just set up an appointment to kind of look at your goals and see like, okay, what's the deadline, or like, when can I like achieve these, and putting a date on it too. Sometimes oh yeah, I'll do it. But putting a date, and that's part of the gem plan. Chanti is part of the gem plan. She has her list already of things she has to achieve or wants to achieve, and putting a date on it and being able to achieve it. So if you guys want to schedule an appointment with me, I will talk more about that. That's part of the final steps. Thank you so much for being here today. Hugs to everyone. I adore you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, and can't wait for the next event.
Yeah, definitely look forward to it.
It's actually
Thank you so
December
much.
17. We have the self-love party.
Ooh, very nice. There we go.
Nice.
All right, cool. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
It's on
thank you.
Instagram. I can share the Eventbrite as well so you guys can have it.
Awesome.
The link.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, girls, for coming. I really appreciate your presence and your support. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.